Celebrated for its dazzling culture and sophisticated imperial court, the Tang Dynasty embodied luxury, refinement, and famously large harems. But how exactly did the emperor select from thousands of consorts night after night? Was it personal choice, careful planning, or something more ritualized? Hi everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Previously, I made a video about the bedroom rules of the Qing Dynasty. In today's video, we'll travel even further back in time to the Tang Dynasty and discover its fascinating rules governing the imperial bedroom and how these rules were broken for the famous beauty Yang Guifei. At the height of the Tang Dynasty, the imperial harem housed thousands of consorts and concubines. Selecting a companion each night presented a logistical challenge and required unique systems and rituals to balance fairness and practicality. To truly understand the bedroom rules of the Tang Dynasty, let's look at the dynasty's core values. First, it was an era obsessed with Tang aesthetics, prizing elegance, refinement, and luxurious beauty. Second, there was an emphasis on harmony and cosmic order, with beliefs that proper rituals and systems were crucial for maintaining balance. Finally, Tang Dynasty culture was infused with romanticism and symbolism, where ideas of fate and destiny were often expressed through metaphors in art and poetry. This unique blend of beauty, order, and symbolic thinking formed the backdrop against which the emperor's nightly selections took place. So how did the Tang emperors manage a large number of consorts? The primary solution was an organized rotation, confirmed by historical sources like the Old Book of Tang and the New Book of Tang. The rotation system ensured each consort received imperial attention, primarily based on her rank. Higher-ranking women had more frequent access, while lower ranks visited less often. But the structured approach aimed to prevent complete neglect and promote equal attention within the hierarchy. This logistical task fell to specialized palace offices, such as the Office of the Inner Court. Eunuchs staffed within this office maintained detailed lists tracking each woman's rank, availability, and visit history, using these records to manage the scheduling of nightly visits. Their control over these records and schedules allowed them to favor or hinder certain consorts, translating their management role into real power over palace life. There is so much more to talk about regarding eunuchs that I'll explore in a separate video. To imagine how such a rotation might have worked, historians often refer to earlier texts, particularly the ancient Zhou Li. While the Tang Dynasty probably didn't follow the rites of Zhou precisely, the text offers a clear example of the kind of detailed, symbolic scheduling that was likely adapted into more practical forms. The rites of Zhou described an idealized rotation aligned with lunar phases. During the waxing moon, consorts visited the emperor in ascending order of rank, gradually building towards the full moon. At the full moon, only the empress had the privilege of visiting the emperor, symbolically reinforcing her unique status. Then, during the waning moon, the rotation reversed, beginning with the highest-ranking consort and descending to those of lower status. Additionally, a designated group of lower-ranking consorts was scheduled towards the month's end. Given the large number of women at this rank, individually scheduling visits wasn't practical. Instead, palace administrators organized them into small groups, presenting multiple women to the emperor simultaneously each night. The emperor could freely select one or several consorts from these groups, ensuring that even women of lower status occasionally received imperial attention. Although this precise lunar schedule was likely simplified in practice, the overall principle of structured rotation, rank-based visits, and symbolic timing certainly influenced harem management during the Tang Dynasty. It's important to note that bedroom rituals evolved throughout the Tang Dynasty. Therefore, the detailed practices described in this video are mostly based on the better documented and elaborate rituals from Emperor Xuanzong's rule in the 700s CE. While rotation systems worked for many Tang emperors, Emperor Xuanzong faced a unique challenge. His imperial harem reportedly held a staggering 40,000 consorts, making any organized rotation impossible. To handle this, Xuanzong famously turned to creative, sometimes whimsical methods of selection. often based on pure chance or fate. One intriguing method is documented by the Song Dynasty scholar Tao Gu in his records of the unique and strange. He described a dice game called 彩菊儿, or the colorful round. In this method, consorts would take turns to roll dice amongst themselves, with the winner of the dice game selected to spend the night with the emperor. Unlike methods in which the emperor himself randomly chose his companion, the 彩菊儿 ritual transformed nightly selection into a contest entirely determined by luck and chance. This approach balanced fairness with a playful spirit, subtly removing direct responsibility from the emperor and placing it firmly in the hands of fate. Beyond the dice ritual, Emperor Xuanzong became famously associated with other romantic and symbolic selection rituals, frequently depicted in Tang poetry and folklore. One beloved legend is the butterfly method. According to this story, consorts stood in a line, each with a flower placed in their hair. Xuanzong would then release a butterfly, and whichever consort attracted the butterfly to her hair became his chosen companion for the night. This method relied purely on the unpredictable whim of butterflies. Some versions of the tale suggest that the method was abandoned after a clever consort used special perfumes from the western regions to repeatedly attract the butterflies to herself. Another playful legend described the firefly method. In this tale, consorts competed to capture fireflies, allegedly also for Xuanzong's own personal amusement in watching them running around chasing the fireflies. However, this method was apparently scrapped after one consort kept winning because she had learned how to catch fireflies during her childhood. Xuanzong supposedly became bored with predictability and created a seal carved with the characters 风月长新, meaning romance always new. Each consort chosen for the evening was marked with the seal on her body, preventing her from being selected on a consecutive night. One more interesting legendary method was an arrow method created by a later Tang ruler, Jingzong, known as 风流剑, or romantic arrow. This ritual was also documented in the records of the unique and strange, and used paper arrows tipped with fragrant powders. Emperor Jingzong reportedly gathered his consorts at a distance and shot these paper arrows toward them, marking the hit consort with its strong fragrance and choosing her for the night. As interesting as these legendary rituals may sound, they lack historical evidence and documented details. Still, they beautifully capture Tang Dynasty culture surrounding fate, destiny, and romance. While intricate rituals and rotations helped organize nightly selections, historical texts confirmed one reality always held true. The emperor himself had the final say. Regardless of established systems like lunar rotations or symbolic rituals, Tang emperors regularly exercised their power to choose their bedroom companion. Such decision carried significant political implications. Families of favored consorts gained influence, wealth, and status, affecting palace politics and even dynastic stability. Perhaps no historical figure better showed the power of imperial favoritism than Yang Guifei, known as one of China's legendary four great beauties. She inspired generations of poets, artists, and storytellers who depicted her as capable of toppling empires. Initially, Yang Guifei was not intended as an imperial consort at all. She was married to the emperor's son, Li Mao, the prince of Shou. Emperor Xuanzong, however, became captivated by her and arranged for her to enter his own court, granting her the title Guifei, the highest rank a consort could hold below the empress. Once elevated, Yang Guifei quickly became the center of Emperor Xuanzong's attention. Historical records describe him bypassing rituals and expectations to summon Yang Guifei directly, night after night, ignoring thousands of other consorts. Yang Guifei's presence reshaped life within the Tang imperial palace. As her influence increased, other consorts found themselves neglected and losing favor, creating hidden bitterness. Simultaneously, Yang Guifei's family gained significant benefits from her favored status, building great wealth and taking powerful positions. Most significantly, her cousin Yang Guozhong was promoted to chancellor, the highest office in the imperial government. Despite being widely regarded as corrupt and incompetent, his power became absolute. This concentration of power, wielded by an unpopular and criticized chancellor, created deep instability and widespread discontent that reached far beyond the palace walls. This situation presented an opportunity for the ambitious An Lushan. Under the banner of fighting corruption, An Lushan leveraged the resentment against Yang Guozhong to rally his army and marched on the capital in 755 CE, launching the bloody and devastating An Lushan Rebellion. Fleeing the capital with Yang Guifei during the uprising, Emperor Xuanzong faced a troop mutiny at Ma Wei. The soldiers blamed the Yang family for the disaster, immediately killing the chancellor Yang Guozhong and demanded Yang Guifei's execution. To suppress the revolt and ensure his own survival, the emperor was forced to order her death, leaving behind a devastated emperor and a weakened empire, marking the beginning of the decline of the Tang dynasty. Many years after this event, the poet Bai Juyi wrote the famous poem Song of Everlasting Regret, 长恨歌, depicting Emperor Xuanzong's grief after Yang Guifei's death, describing his tears, loneliness, and attempts to find her spirit. Being chosen to visit the emperor was a moment of great honor and potential influence for a Tang consort. However, this election also marked the beginning of an elaborate series of rituals and preparations. The first step was a ritual bath, intended to purify the body and spirit. The Tang dynasty was renowned for its luxurious, refined rituals, and bathing was no exception. Palace maids prepared fancy bath infused with exotic flowers and herbs, using aromatic powders to perfume the skin, all chosen for their fragrances and symbolic meanings. After bathing, attendants dressed the consort in elegant silk robes, styled her hair, and applied subtle makeup to enhance her natural beauty. A discreet security check preceded her journey to the emperor's chambers. Depending on her rank and the emperor's favor, the consort either walked or was carried on a chair. Historical records suggest the Tang dynasty practiced relatively flexible bedroom rules, including less rigid time limits during intimate encounters, especially compared to stricter dynasties like the Qing dynasty. While lower-ranked consorts likely faced more rigid schedules, favored consorts such as Yang Guifei probably enjoyed longer, more relaxed visits, potentially even staying overnight. Etiquette during these private moments remained important, though the Tang court allowed more natural and flexible interactions than later dynasties. Typically, the emperor guided the conversations, but favored consorts could speak more freely due to established intimacy. Still, consorts carefully balanced their privilege with humility, showing respect through gentle speech and responses to the emperor's mood and cues. Eunuchs remained nearby, silently monitoring security, ensuring the emperor's safety, and tracking the duration of visits, especially important if multiple appointments were scheduled. Selecting a consort involved more than rituals or imperial preferences. Strict rules concerning ritual purity also determined whether a consort could be chosen. This core concept centered on avoiding conditions or substances believed to cause impurity or energetic disturbance, to protect emperor's vital qi or life energy, and to preserve cosmic harmony. The most significant and frequent concern regarding vital purity involved menstruation. Menstrual blood was considered a potent source of yin energy, which was believed to disrupt the emperor's yang-dominant qi, bringing misfortune and disharmony. To uphold these purity rules, subtle methods were developed for managing temporary unavailability. Historical records describes consorts discreetly notifying eunuchs about menstruation or other personal conditions through folded paper notes. Visual indicators might also have been used, such as colored ribbons or specific floral arrangements placed outside the consort's quarters. Beyond the menstruation, ritual purity rules also apply to situations such as illness, pregnancy, postpartum recovery, or mourning periods. Palace eunuchs carefully tracked all these conditions, affecting purity and availability in their records. Attempting to conceal these conditions was a grave offense, potentially leading to severe punishments like demotion or exile. This strict oversight highlights the importance placed on ritual purity within the Tang palace. The bedroom rules guiding the Tang Emperor's selection of companions offered a glimpse into imperial life. From structured rotations to symbolic dice rituals, each night in the imperial palace balanced fairness, fate, and the emperor's personal desires. Which aspect of these intimate Tang rituals surprised you the most? Do you think these rituals were truly fair? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to support this channel and help me uncover more fascinating stories from Chinese history, please check out my membership and become a Noble Baoban. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Stay curious, stay magical.